Big news in the motorcycle world today because Kawasaki has just revealed a number of updates to a couple of their different motorcycle lineups, but the biggest news here is the Kawasaki Eliminator. And I know if you've watched some of our news videos before, you might be a little confused. Right now we're in my office and we haven't done a video from here since really, the first news video that we did on this channel. But we're here right now because I am leaving for the airport in a couple moments, but we had to make sure to cover this because this is really big news right here. So this Eliminator is a new smaller displacement cruiser from Kawasaki, and that's a pretty big deal because this is obviously, if you can't tell, a Rebel 500 fighter, and the Rebel 500 is a fantastic, really one of the best entry bikes for somebody that's looking to get into riding, and this is going to be just the same. So the 2024 Eliminator, let's walk through a few specs on this bike. So it's a 451cc parallel twin engine. This is pretty interesting. Basically what they did is they took the same engine platform as what's in the Ninja 400, but they increased the stroke by 6.8 millimeters to give it that higher displacement. So it's a bigger displacement version of the Ninja 400 engine, also running a 6-speed transmission with an assist in slipper clutch. And here we can see a slightly different view where you can see the LCD display up there, a few of the metrics that you get from your instruments. Nothing too crazy. Gear position indicator, trip odometer, fuel gauge, speed, tach, that kind of thing, everything that you would expect. So this is a pretty simple motorcycle, also part of what makes it good for somebody that's looking to get into riding. The other good thing about this bike for someone that wants to get into riding is the low seat height, 28.9 inch seat height. So really easy to get a leg over. You should have a solid bend in the knee, even if you're not an especially tall rider, which is nice. You can also see here along the side of the bike the trellis frame, and this bike being a little bit more old school and being a cruiser has twin shocks as well. Now the wheel and tire layout is an 18-inch front wheel and a 16-inch rear wheel. These are 10-spoke wheels, a little on the retro side, but not quite as retro as like a wire spoke wheel. For brakes, you get a 310 millimeter disc in the front and a 220 millimeter rear disc. And there's a few different models that you can get here, which you might have been able to tell from the flipping between pictures that we've done so far. So this, the SE, gets this cowl around the headlight. It also gets you those fork gaiters, and you also get a USB-C port as well. So this is one of the I guess you could call it a higher end trim model that gets you a few extra features, and it costs a few extra dollars as well compared to the more basic model that doesn't have those couple additions. There's also a non-ABS and an ABS model. So pricing on all of that, the very base model starts at $6,649, which is a pretty decent entry level price and competitive with the Honda Rebel, which we'll talk about in a second. If you get the ABS model, it's $6,949, and then if you step up to that SE, it's $7,249. Now, something that's pretty interesting about that is if we go over here to Honda's page for the Rebel 500, you can see base MSRP $6,449, and then if we scroll down, they also have an ABS model that's $6,749, and then they also have an SE model with a cowl around the headlight and the fork boots at $6,949. So very, very similar pricing here. The Eliminator is just ever so slightly more expensive. So $200 more at the base model, and then just over $7,000 for their version of the SE. So a really competitive set of pricing and also features that you get on these bikes when you compare between this Eliminator and the Rebel 500. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of response we will potentially get from Honda, because this Rebel 500, again, this is a really fantastic entry bike. So yeah, it's going to be the same situation here with Kawasaki. Now, what else we have to talk about, because the Eliminator is really the biggest news of today, but it's not the only news that we're getting from Kawasaki. This is the 2024 ZX6R, which gets updated styling, LED headlights, and LED turn signals. So they've changed the bodywork a little bit. They've changed the lighting. There's also, and if we scroll through here, you can see a couple more pictures of some different versions of the bike. There's KRT editions as well as standard models, but this is another one of the updates on this motorcycle, is a new 4.3-inch TFT, and you also get riding modes with this bike, so sport mode, road mode, and rain mode. But they've also made some changes to the engine, largely for emissions, but the 636cc inline four-cylinder here gets a new head and collector pipe layout, a new intake funnel design, and new cam profiles. So they've really just massaged the engine a little bit to make it emissions compliant heading into the future. They've also added a new system for the 310mm discs up front and monoblock calipers. And these bikes start at $11,299. If you want ABS, it's $1,000 extra, so $12,299. And then the KRT models carry no extra premium, so that's just a decision based on style. So some big updates here for the ZX6R that are nice to see. And then the other bit of news that we got is the KLX 300 SM. Nothing too major here, but they've updated the styling on this a little bit as well, and it also gets LED lights. So, you know, same basic formula with the KLX 300 and the KLX 300 SM that I think a lot of people have come to really enjoy, but just a couple minor updates. They also took the KLX 450, and now there's a whole host of engine and brake system and tech updates. And then the ZX10RR also has a new intake system. So really, Kawasaki dropped a lot of news today, but I would say obviously the biggest of which is going to be this new Eliminator model. And this is something that we would love to get a chance to throw a leg over sometime soon. Because this is, like I said, just going to be a fantastic motorcycle for people that are looking to get into riding. It's a small, affordable bike that's easy to get your leg over, and that is exactly what a lot of people want out of their first motorcycle. So let me know what you all think down in the comments below. Are you guys looking forward to the Eliminator? Is this something that could sway you from a bike like the Rebel 500? And again, I mean, anytime we're able to get our leg over one of these motorcycles, which will hopefully be soon, we will make sure that we get you a video as soon as we possibly can. So let me know what you think down in the comments below, and we'll see you all in the next video.